Sasagutin ang katanungan ng mga taong naghahanap ng katarungan dito sa programang Laban para sa Karapatan. Kasama si Attorney Lorna Kapunan. Laban para sa Karapatan.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Sabado na naman at nandito po tayo sa Laban para sa Karapatan. Kung maalala nyo po, sabi natin po ay February ay Love Month. So, last week na po tayo ng February. Ang pakikinggan naman natin ay love ng millennials. Love ng mga magulang sa mga millennials kasi parang hindi na natin ata sila naiintindihan or hindi na ata nila tayo naiintindihan. Pag tayo, sinasabi ko mga magulang, mga hindi na nakakaintindi ng mga tinatawag na baby boomers. So, today we're going to talk about millennials. What keeps them occupied? Will we find them in the people power movement rally later? Tama ba yung stereotype na they are narcissistic, they only care for themselves, walang civic mindedness ang mga baby boomers, kagaya ng sinabi ng Wikipedia? Today, dito po sa Laban para sa Karapatan, iintindihin po natin ano ang mga karapatan ng mga millennials. Are we dealing here with a stereotype? Fad lang ba yan yung tinatawag na, ano ba yan? Millennial fever, whatever, no? So we have with us today one of the best, if not the best, kasi best friend ko siya. Dr. Rose Yenko, will introduce yourself, but she's the one that talks to millennials.
Well, at least some
of the millennials.
Yes.
So, Rose, tell us about yourself.
I'm Rose Yanko. I am a psychologist. I'm a clinical psychologist as well as an organizational psychologist. With my work, I deal with 20-year-olds to 80-year-olds. I deal with adults and couples. And yes, so I have a wide range of ages that I work with.
Okay, and we will find out why you work with them and what their problems are in a bit. And together with her is my favorite millennial. Okay. If his name is Kapunan, it is because he is my son. Introduce yourself, Choi.
Hi, I'm Choi Kapunan. I'm a new lawyer. Just became part of the integrated bar this year. But aside from that, I'm a part owner of Burnside Barber, a new concept barber shop in White Plains, and I'm also a part owner of Common Folk Coffee Bar, which is a third wave coffee shop also located in White Plains.
Ayun ang definition ng millennial, wala nang oras para sa sarili. Practicing lawyer, may coffee shop, may barber shop.
Multi-engagement.
Parang wala doon yung panahon para sa nanay niya, no? Parang wala na ata akong narinig doon.
Well, yeah, because at 20-year-olds, they should be striving on their own. They should be spreading their wings. They should be engaging with the world. And it means, yeah, probably less time for mother. As much as you would wish them to be with you.
Is there a definite definition for millennials, no? Because I was looking at research studies, and they peg this age at 18 to 35. Tama ba yan? Based on
well, the research I've also read was in those who were born in the 80s to the 2000.
I think 1982 is the cutoff for the millennial age.
When is that, Choi?
If I'm not mistaken, it's from 1982 onwards. So that's the generation that you will still be considered a millennial.
So that's 2017, less 82, that's around 35 years old.
When were you born, Choi?
1988.
88. That was the year that everybody wanted to be born because that was the Blue Dragon year. In fact, Choi here is a third generation dragon. Ano?
I see. That I did not know. I only know 1988 was 2 years after EDSA.
My father, his grandfather, si Justice Lino Patao was a dragon. I was born in 1952, which is a dragon year. So third generation dragons. Do you factor that in? Kasi ngayon, uso rin sa mga millennials. Or sa atin, yung
no, I don't.
the year you were born,
No,
were you
I don't.
Now we have a rooster year, then you have to figure out whether you're...
But if they bring that into the session, yes, because it's part of their own reflection of themselves, and they use that as a mirror to look at who they are, then why not? But as a purposive intervention, I don't use that. That's not
Yung mga
frame.
nakikinig po, sana sumama kayo sa talakayan natin, ano? Meron po tayong hotline 470-1750 up to 54. If you are on smart, you can text us at 0908-136-6060 at Globe 0915-7090882 or sa aking personal number 0920-970-4037. Let's take advantage of this discussion. Alam ko maraming nakikinig na parents dyan, ano? At maraming nakikinig rin na gustong maintindihan itong mga millennials na to. What would you say is characteristic of a millennial? Rose?
They are into multitasking. They like adventure. They like meaning. They like passion. They like engaging in many things. Well, that's the multitasking part, no? And they like travel. They like they're in my language of psychology that they are Hermes.
What's a
Hermes archetype. What's a Hermes?
What's a Hermes?
A Hermes archetype.
My
is-
bag, the bag.
Yeah, I know. This is not to plug for Hermes bag.
Okay.
This is the archetype of Hermes, which means that he is in the Greek literature.
Hermes was the Greek god of
he was the messenger. Okay.
The messenger.
And so it seems like the millennials today carry the spirit of Hermes.
Which
Right?
is what?
Which is they are travelers, and travelers does not only mean travelers of physical world, but travelers also of the mental world and travelers of social worlds. In other words, whether you're traveling externally to other places or you're traveling to social worlds, different kinds of groups or social endeavors, whether it is law to barista to coffee shop. I mean, in other words, they travel. They travel.
Yeah.
And in many ways of traveling, whether it's internal traveling from the external world to the inner world, yes. So that's the Hermes. So
with all
I
this-
would like to say that these millennials, they are the period of the Hermes archetype.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice.
Yeah. And
But in
yes.
the Greek mythology, did Hermes have a happy ending? Or did
I would think so.
Did he get eaten by Mount Vesuvius? Or did he get lovelorn with Venus?
No. Yeah, he had his purpose. He was a messenger as well of the world, of that society that they were in. No? So he carried the news. He communicated. A Hermes archetype is a communicator also. That's why you also have the explosion of social media.
Yes.
Because that's Hermes. He's a communicator. You also have the quality of being a trickster and a shyster. That's also Hermes.
Okay, let us ask this Hermes type beside you.
Okay.
Choi, can you identify with this definition of millennial?
Yeah, I kind of agree because like what she was saying that like the misconception with millennials is we think that this generation or our age now is we're very spoiled, we're not trainable. But I think that it's not that. Like, what's hard is we are not the traditional employees nowadays that
Yes.
we don't want to climb the corporate ladder. What we believe, or at least I believe, that many millennials are output-based. You give us work, we will do it in our 9-to-5 job. We will give you good work. But we will not be the type to, how do you say
To be
this?
boxed in.
To be boxed in. We don't want to be this is step 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
We don't need to know what step 1, 2, 3 is. We will
Yeah.
give you the same output all the time.
Yeah.
But come Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like you were saying, we want to travel. A very popular hashtag now for millennials is "We deserve this." So we will work hard
Yeah.
and
We
then
deserve
reward
this.
ourselves right away.
Well, bringing us to a sense of the stereotype, millennial is hashtag self-entitlement. Dr. Rose.
Okay, can I bring in another
Yes, please.
archetype? This is the Apollo,
Apollo, the god,
the god,
sun god.
the sun god. Yes, the
Yes.
favorite sun. But Apollo, when somebody or when a generation or when a culture is Apollonian, is the one that is very procedural, it's very systematized, it's very structured. So sometimes there can be such a rigidity about it. So it is really a direct contrast to the Hermes archetype. So I would like to think that the generation of yesteryear, of the working, you might say, archetype that was prevailing was very Apollonian. So you have all of these boxes and all of these manuals, which was controlling the way you would do things, no? But now, Hermes is also a very creative person. So it's more the archetypal energy has shifted.
Yes, I
Okay.
agree.
Okay.
Like what you're trying to say, I think it all comes down to we are free-flowing, or we are free-spirited individuals. I think our generation now is we don't want to be associated with just one thing. Like my problem now, like I mentioned a while ago, I'm a lawyer, so I work. My 9-to-5 job is a lawyer.
Incidentally, for the listeners to note, he does not work with me. I think that could be a character of a millennial. They don't want to work with their parents. So, yung anak ko po, wala po sa law firm ko. Mas malaki pa siguro sweldo nito sa akin. Kasi ako po lahat pro bono. Sa pag tumanggap, nakita ko yung dividend check niya after his first month sabi ko, baka pwede na ako mag-retire. Pero ginamit na niya pang travel niya yung check na.
So, like, yeah, that's what I was saying is that we don't want to be associated with just one thing. We want to be a jack of all trades. We want to do one thing now, and then the next year do something again. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we want to make sure that what we're doing is what we're supposed to be doing. And how can you say that this is your profession or this is what you're meant to be if you don't try or satisfy your curiosity with diving into other projects? So I think that's why millennials want to travel a lot. Like with the age now, piece of fares. Like it's easier to travel. Like
piece of fares, 1 peso for traveling.
1 peso, then you can go to Hong Kong, to Cambodia. So you'll see the millennials now really traveling, seeing the different cultures, and trying to replicate that culture or that business. So you'll see now in the Philippines, everything is here. Before, you would go to the States to eat in a certain restaurant. You would go to Hong Kong to eat in a certain restaurant. What this generation is doing now is you don't have to go abroad anymore. We're bringing in these products here to the Philippines.
That's why I really believe in this generation, because I think they contribute to the enrichment of the experience of life in the country. I mean, they are so progressive culturally, artistically, socially, entrepreneurially. Is there such a word as entrepreneurially? and that itself is such a there's such a ferment of ideas and projects that it really also enhances our own natural artistic creativity as a country. It builds on that as well.
Yes.
So I see that as a plus for our country.
You sound like you're on the same side.
Of course. Of course.
Oh, let me talk.
I am a millennial at heart.
Let's talk for my generation, okay? And I'm not talking personally. I'm just trying to see where did it all go? Where did traditional values like family go? The solidarity of the family. Ngayon, yung travel dati, pag sinabing family vacation, sama lahat. Ngayon, yung bakasyon, may kanya-kanyang your son or daughter might say, I've already planned a vacation with my classmates to Boracay.
Yeah.
I mean, when did you expect to, hindi na rin napapaalam pala. Mga by the way, I'll be out for a week. What? Parang feeling mo yung bahay mo, dormitorio. Hindi naman sila nagbabayad ng rent, no? So, where is the balance there? The traditional values of family. The age-old practice of going to church together, di ba? Yung praying together, yung mga sama-sama, yung Sunday dinners, yung Sunday lunch, pati yung malling nun, di ba? Sabay-sabay manood ng sine. Sabay-sabay magsishare ka pa ng popcorn. Wala na yun, kanya-kanya na. At saka hindi na nagsine, nag-iPad na lang sila kasi may Netflix na. Where did that all go?
I think what's happening is a retranslation of what it means to be family-oriented. In other words, those practices showed solidarity of family. All right? I mean, the going to mass together, going to movies together. That showed, we might say, a family.
Or at least communicating, knowing what the other member is doing. Or
Yes.
So that you can plan your vacations, no? Ngayon, hindi na.
That's what I'm saying, a retranslation, because maybe now, I don't know if you do this with your mom, but I would say that millennials would have special dinners with their parents, a special outing with their mom. In other words, it's more, rather than a pattern of doing things, it's more a special engagement with one's loved one, with one's mother, or with one's parents. So the family value is in the engagement rather than in the in the regular practice or ritual.
So it is redefining what was a ritual.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
You now are seeking what has more meaning to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Choy?
So, like, this, I don't think, like, the family values are lost with these millennials.
I know.
I think, like, for our family, we can do whatever we want Monday to Saturday, but Sunday is my mom's day, so that's what we book. So again, like with millennials, is you tell us what we have to do, and then we will plan around everything. So like our non-negotiable is every Sunday we will have family dinner together. So
and lunch
with
the
our
whole
entire clan.
Yeah.
So our schedule revolves around that.
Yeah.
But then if I can get a business meeting in the morning, or if I can do something in between, I think that's how do you say this? That's how our mindset is we try to make the most out of the 24 hours that we have. And like now, you say that family, I think it's just maybe a different platform, because families who before would bond, they would go to the mall, they would go, I don't know if picnics were a thing before. I think my mom would tell me before.
Yes.
My lolo would take them to UST, and then they would walk around the campus. Now the different kind of family bonding is
that's what I mean by a retranslation of what it means to be family oriented. It does not maybe be like the familiar rituals of family bonding. That's why I said I was thinking of the special dinners, or maybe the special rules for your particular family. It has to be Sundays.
Yes.
But for some families, even that is not practice. But travels abroad or travels in the country, that's a must.
Or Christmas.
Or Christmas,
birthdays,
so there are certain musts depending on the family and how you define your musts.
Again, an important thing to consider in nowadays is it's the digital age. So families normally don't communicate in person. You can still be close with your family. Like I'm sure most families now have a Viber group, a WhatsApp group, a Telegram group, a Facebook group, and then that's where you share your stories. So even if you're not physically together, like you're busy at work, simple reminders can be posted in the group. Pictures can be shared there. That's one way of communicating.
I want 20 hugs a day.
We will send you 20 stickers.
They send, what's this? They send smileys, they send hearts, they send...
In that sense, I am with Lorna, because there's still nothing like a face-to-face contact, human contact with one another.
Yes.
I mean, yes, the digital interface can only do so much, but there's nothing like spending human contact. And that's why I'm saying the retranslation of it is because you may go to churches together, but there may be no human contact.
That's true.
I mean, you're just side by side, but there's no contact.
Yes.
That's
You're there, you're there because your mom says I have to be here, but whether they feel the well, I'm not really talking to myself, but I'm really talking for myself. For all the mommies, all the parents who, as you said, we also have to, I guess, the same way that millennials are defining what to them is important, and I think parents should also be guided into transforming old habits or rituals.
Yes. And that is where the change is, because for the older people, it's harder. Yeah, because you like the familiar, of course. Yeah. But now you also have to change because your children or your grandchildren are changing, and how do you change with that, right? So it's also a challenge for the older people.
Understanding the millennials, and let's talk about the stereotype. Millennials now are narcissistic. They have a sense of self-entitlement. They have no, and I'm reading from, of course, from Google and Wikipedia. And they have no sense of civic consciousness, etc.
I would like to say something about that, because I'm glad that the millennials are in this country. I really am. One of my work as a psychologist has been in development for over 50 years. I mean, I started, maybe over 40 years, or more than 50 years, for over 40 years. And one of the phenomena in this country is the lack of empowerment. Okay? And people have a hard time saying, I feel, I think, I am aware, I like, I do not like. And the struggle for people just to be able to say what is in their hearts and what is in their minds. And I'm glad the millennials are there, because they are speaking from what they want, what matters to them. So in a way, it's also teaching the rest of the country, I hope, to step up. If the millennials are saying, this is what I want, why shouldn't the rest of the country, who are still disempowered, I will grant you that, not follow the model of the millennials to say, this is important to us. Our water is important to us. Our voice needs to be heard. Our children are important. Traffic is lousy. The money that is spent is important to us. So let us be modeled. Let us have the millennials as our models.
I think with empowerment is, or like taking off what she said, is that I think the millennials are not afraid to speak our mind.
Yes.
But sometimes, again, it's not always a good thing, because we may voice out about, we're working, we deserve free parking. We're working, we deserve free lunch, or whatever it is. Which I think the older generations did not have. The older generations think that the millennials are spoiled, that they deserve this. They think they deserve it, but they don't. Like, for example, in some law firms or in some offices, people want to work from home because of the bad traffic.
Yes.
Like, we as millennials, of course, you want to work from home because we're very mobile. We can do and accomplish everything via our laptop. We just need an internet connection, and then we can be productive. But I think the traditional people are not in the same wavelength, because again, it's still different if you're in a physical cubicle doing work, doing your 9 to 5.
That is why I think the old people should listen to the millennials. Because maybe some of the ways that the old, by old it's in quotation marks, okay, the old people are doing things already need to be tweaked. Because, hey, if traffic is bad, why should you
go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, yes.
Incidentally, now that you mention it, in my law firm responding to this, we started for a month now the work out of office system, which means that twice a week you can work from out of your home, but you must be traceable, you must answer your calls, etc. And it has proven productive. But later on we'll talk about what's wrong with what are the problems of being millennial, no? Because also from reactions I get, no, like for instance, I've said on air that I'm part of an ina foundation, mga inang naulila sa anak, and now we have mothers who say, we have new members, mothers who have lost their children to suicide, in that, or so wala na raw, and these are mothers who are not bad mothers. These are mothers who, maybe that's the problem, who've given their children everything. The typical mother who says, what went wrong? We gave him everything. He has a car, he has a laptop, he went to Africa, he went to... After the station...
That's precisely the problem.
Correct. We will understand that syndrome after this short station ID.
Laban para sa karapatan, kasama si Attorney Lorna Kapunan. Patuloy na naglilingkod sa bayan. Mas todong pagbabalita, mas todong pagseserbisyo publiko. Ito ang DWIZ 882. Mas todong lakas, mas pinakikinggan ng buong bansa. DWIZ 882. Maririnig saan man panig ng daigdig. Mag-livestream lamang sa www.dwiz882am.com o i-download ang official DWIZ 882 app sa Apple Store at sa Google Play Store. DWIZ 882, mapapakinggan worldwide.
Sinusuyod ng buong pwersa ng DWIC News at Public Affairs ang buong Kamaynilaan
Upang mayatid ang mga latest na kaganapan.
mga balitang dapat ninyong malaman. Ito ang DWIC Balita. Mas todong pagbabalita. DWIC Balita.
Inaasahang dadagsang mga taga-suporta ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa Luneta Park sa Maynila mamayang hapon. Sinasabing ito upang tapatan ang pwersa ng mga magrarally para sa paggunita naman ng People Power Revolution sa EDSA. Ayon kay Constancio Chonco ng Duterte National Executive Coordinating Committee, posibleng ulanin ng kritisismo si Pangulong Duterte kaya't magrarally din sila upang magpahayag ng suporta sa Pangulo. Git ni Chonco, hindi maaaring maupo na lang sila habang nag-iingay ang mga anti-Duterte group at tinutuligsa ang presidente para ipanawagan ng pagpapatalsik sa kanya. Nakalatag na rin ang mga equipment ng mga pro-Duterte group para sa mga programa at konsyerto na sinasabing magsisimula mamayang alas 5 ng hapon kaya't asahan na ang pagsisikip ng daloy ng trapiko sa naturang lugar. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon at mas marami pang mga balita, bisitahin kami sa aming website, dwiz882am.com. Sundan ang aming Twitter account at Facebook page, dwiz882. Ako po si Jonathan Andat.
Balitang kapaki-pakinabang sa mga mamamayan. Inyong nalaman sa DWIC Balita.
Maging updated sa mga balita.
Mas todong pagbabalita. DWIC Balita. Ayon sa mga doktor at espesyalista, sa panahon ngayon, ang pagkain na di masustansya, paninigarilyo, stress at pagod sa trabaho at walang ehersisyo ay maaring maging sanhi ng sakit sa puso. Kailangan natin ng proteksyon mula sa Cardivest 3-in-1 Nutritional Heart Supplement. Ito ay may natural omega-3 mula sa Norwegian salmon, lycopene at CoQ10. Tatlo na pinakakilalang sangkap na mapisa para sa ating puso ay pinagsama sa isang capsule. Ito ay imported mula sa Norway. Para sa kalusugan ng ating puso, Cardivest, your heart's best friend. Now available at Mercury Drug Outlets.
Laban para sa karapatan. Kasama si Attorney Lorna Kapunan.
Nandito na naman po tayo sa Laban para sa Karapatan. Kung late po kayo nag-tune in, ang February month nga to, at ang topic natin ay trying to understand millennials, what they love in life, their passion, and also trying to understand their parents who half understand them only. And ang guest natin nga ngayon ay si Dr. Rose Yenko na pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. Obviously, she's on the side of these millennials.
Yes.
Because she understands what is it that makes a millennial. At si Choi Kapunan, my favorite millennial. I'm understanding you, Choi. Now I'm understanding you more.
Yes.
And suicide, totoo ba na sa millennials at that age bracket, ang dami-daming nagsusuicide? At bakit?
I don't have the statistics,
Mm-mm.
okay, but I hear of suicides, yes, and really the depression that occurs.
Pero
prior to
sabi
the
nga nila,
suicide.
they have it all. What do you want? What else do you want?
That's
the problem.
That is the problem. The parenting. If you say the baby boomers, who
Mm-hmm.
had to build up their prosperity and their abundance, and do not like their children to undergo
To waste it.
to undergo what they have undergone, what it means to
Correct.
build up
Tama.
one's
Sabi nga nila,
one's
Jerry,
wealth.
the first generation
Yeah.
earns it, the second generation makes it bigger, the third generation wastes it.
Yeah. So we're,
Nandun ba tayo sa third generation wasting it and wanting to do their own thing?
because the indulging is never a good practice for parenting, to indulge. And in this, I'd like to make a plug for my friend Dr. Hani Kalandang's
Oh, yes.
talk on March, this coming Saturday. I think it's going to be on what's next Saturday, March 3.
March na. Oo.
Yeah, it's March 3,
Choi, what is next
March
Saturday?
March 4
Si
rather.
Dr. Hani and I, she is our mentor. She's a member of INA Foundation.
Yeah. So on March 4, there's going to be a talk on compassionate parenting. How do you discipline in a compassionate manner at St. Luke's Global. So people
What time is
should
this?
from 8:30 to 5 at the auditorium there. So I'd like the listeners, if they are accessible.
May
to-
bayad ba to, Rose?
Yes, I think lang it's 1,500 for the whole day. So it's worth taking a look, especially if you want to be able to manage your children in a psychologically, healthy way. All right. So where were we?
So suicide is this an inability to cope? Because I have been told also na yung IQ nga is intelligence quota, no?
Mhm.
Quotient. Yung EQ, meron rin tayo nun, is emotional quotient. Some people have IQ, don't have EQ. But ngayon, yung AQ ang importante sa millennials. Yung adversity quotient. They cannot deal with adversity. Why? Because pag natatalo sila sa games nila, sa iPad nila, papalitan nila yung game, di ba?
Mhm.
Or they lock themselves in the room. It is air conditioned. Or they're for those who play in yung mga per hour, no? What do you call those places?
Computer shops.
Sa computer shops.
Yeah.
They're out of the house. They're just playing with their computer. They're doing all the world. So, when something happens, okay, the situation where, and these are covered by the newspaper, yung brinake nung girlfriend, nagpakamatay. yung hindi nakakuha ng scholarship sa UP, nagpakamatay.
Yeah.
The one who flunked the subject of the mom was teaching in the bar exams, jumped from a hotel. And
Yeah.
at first the parents are on denial, parang nahilo, pumunta lang sa balcony, nagsigarilyo or jet lag, nahulog, no? So parents rin, because parents are shocked, they are on denial. They
Yeah. Yes.
it is probably easier to cope, to think that it is an accident and that it is not willful taking of one's life. How do you explain that?
Well,
Is it the digital age again, Choi?
no, I think the depression has always been there. So when you make not a decision, but when you commit suicide, it's not an instantaneous, oh, by the way, I'm gonna commit suicide. I mean, that state of darkness has been building up
Pero
already.
di ba yung nung panahon natin gusto ko nang magpakamatay, pero kakausapin mo yung kaibigan mo, yung nanay mo, o yung kung sino man yun.
Mm.
Gusto mo nang magpakamatay, ayoko na, mga ganyan. No? Ngayon, wala na ata sila.
This is why maybe I have to check out with Choi, because in spite of all of the gadgets, what is still important is one has a barkada, one has a support, one has sets of friends, because sometimes connecting via the social media,
It's not enough.
It's not enough. As I said, the human connection is still important, and so the social media is not a substitute for human connection.
Yeah.
Choi.
So, wait, with regard to suicide, I'm not sure. I've never had any suicidal thoughts, but like in my time,
Praise the Lord.
in my time in Ateneo, I think there
Ang
were
dami sa
two
Ateneo.
people
Mhm.
committed suicide. One person locked himself up in our science lab.
Teacher
And
ito. This was a teacher,
He
di
was
ba?
a student. He
A
was
student. Because he flunked his
I
subject.
think he didn't get number 1 or something.
Oh my
He was
God.
top of the class, but I'm not sure about the real story. But he locked all the windows and then turned on the gas and suffocated himself.
Oh my gosh.
So with regard to that, I think maybe it's the pressure that some people are facing. Like like what my mom said is that the first generation builds it, the second generation grows it, and then there's a pressure in the third generation to follow in the footsteps because you already have a name to carry.
Yeah.
So other people thrive under pressure, other people don't want the pressure, other people just want to live a quiet life. So they just can't handle it. So for again with the millennials now is what you were saying. It's of course a different thing to have a core group because you cannot be judged by the number of likes in a post in a Facebook because that's what people consider.
Yeah.
Like you out of the 1 million Facebook friends or 1,000 Facebook friends.
Sino ang totoong kaibigan mo doon sa...
Who will really go
Yes.
out of their way to help you out?
Yeah.
So I think
Tama.
that's one thing now that that's why I encourage like my nephew, my inaanak, is to play sports. Because I think that's one
To
important
build
thing.
friendships
To build
to the sports.
Because
Yeah.
one thing like my drive now, half of the things I learned did not come from the classroom. It came from playing football. My discipline at waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning every day without...
Which he still does, incidentally.
Ah.
Play football.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
That's my advice is my drive came from that.
Yeah.
That you have to develop your habits, develop your discipline early on in life, because a lot of people are way smarter than me, but they got kicked out in first year college because they had no discipline. A lot of people naman in law school were smarter, but they didn't have the how do you say this? They didn't have the endurance, because you will be put down definitely in this life. People, or there will be instances where you will not achieve or you will not get what you want.
I think this is the difference between the concept of someone who is free flow,
Yes.
because free flow can mean there's no structures, okay, versus someone who is, you might say, interested in doing many things, but from what I hear you say, the interest in doing many things is because you put a structure to it.
Yes.
It's not not impulsive. It's not.
Yeah, but even this concept of free flow
Yeah.
has a negative connotation. Sometimes, even with your wanting to do many things or wanting to prove yourself, you still have to be anchored. And that's where I go back to core values. Does not mean that being a millennial, you forget core values. No, as you said, the value of hard work, the value of diligence, the value of...
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the translation of that
That is the translation
that
of that.
makes it different for them.
Do you know the value I miss most, actually, especially in law firms, no, is, and millennials, is yung tinatawag natin sa Pilipino na malasakit. The value of malasakit.
Okay.
Like in my law firm, for instance, we have millennials and we hire them. Name the perk, we have the perks. Travel after your first year, they have food allowance, they have transport allowance, they have whatever allowance. Okay. And then after they travel, sometimes we bring them after their first year, they can go to Europe with us. I mean, but and then after 2 months, they will leave. Saan ang malasakit doon, hindi ba? They see, or even the secretaries, they see a cup of coffee there. Ano ba naman yung na baka puntahan ng cockroach, hindi ba? You leave coffee on the table, cockroach will get there. There is no malasakit. Why don't you stand up and bring it to the pantry? Or if you go to the banyo, walang rolyo ng toilet paper, ba't hindi mo sabihin? Miskin na wala kang sabihin mo, walang rolyo. Small things where there is no more malasakit. And I find that in that age group.
Yes.
In that age group of millennial age group.
For us, I think, like,
who cares, di ba?
no, it's more of when it comes to our work, like, we studied hard, we got good jobs, but then at the end of the day, like what my mom was saying, it's malasakit. If you're not emotionally connected to a firm, at the end of the day, it's you talk, you see someone, you see your friend, his lifestyle may be better than yours, and then you ask him, how much are you getting paid? And then they'll say, is there an opening? I think that's the problem now, is that people move from one place to another. Better offers, better job opportunities.
Yeah. It's always better on the other side, no? Not even knowing. Classic story about the dog who gave up his bone because he saw a bigger bone in the lake and opened his mouth and the bone fell.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I was just thinking about the concept that one indulges. I mean, in terms of all the benefits, no. But I think just a suggestion, you can try it out, is to create a situation where they can contribute. In other words, can they contribute so that then in the contribution it is meaning that they gain from being with your company. In other words, it is not, yes, the perks may be there, but because there is meaning in what they're doing, and they may even, volunteer for such for such a challenge, then that is the one that can have an emotional connection.
Yes, I think the thing is, like, with our generation, I can't speak for everyone, but what is hard is if I know I'm just an employee, why will I go the extra mile?
Yes. Yes.
I am being paid I'm being paid for a certain amount, and I will do that certain work. I think that's why a lot of millennials want to do startups. And even if you're not paid as well, we can call it ours. So I think that is one thing, like with this generation, is that we want to call something our own. We have passion projects, even if we have our 9-to-5 jobs. For example, on my case, I have a 9-to-5, but being a lawyer, it's really not 9-to-5. We extend based on our deadlines.
Do you enjoy your the
again,
cases that you are, managing or you're on top of?
As my mom said a while ago, I'm not working in her law firm, so I'm part of Goriseta Law. I do corporate law. So I like it because it has to do with analyzing businesses. Our firm specializes in IPOs, capital markets, fundraising.
Okay.
And I like it because at heart, I think I am an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So, like what I was saying a while ago, yes, we will contribute. We will give you good work because that's what we were trained to do. That's what we studied. That's what our parents sent us to the best schools to be able to be good citizens of the country. But then it stops there because at the end of the day, we are just your employees. And then we shift to our passions or something that we own. Because even if we're not being paid, we work how many hours? We work countless hours, sleepless nights, fights with our friends.
Yeah.
But it is ours. And that is something that I think the older generation do not comprehend. That it may be small, it may be just a simple barber shop, but it's my barber shop.
That's why I'd like to bring it to the earlier to the depression and pressure and third generation, because the third generation have the pressure to carry the businesses that they have inherited from the first generation, but it is not of their
not what
making.
they want to do.
It is not of their own creation.
That is true.
Yes. So that makes a big psychic difference, psychically.
I think with
psychologically.
That is why when I advise my clients, kasi I do part of what I do is family law, no? Ang sinasabi ko sa kanila ngayon, wag na kayong magpa-inheritance. Kasi yung mga anak nyo na millennials will not appreciate it. Naghihirap kayo, okay? Yeah. They save a lot of money, they make the money, they grow the money, then they save it so that the next generation will enjoy it.
Yes.
I'm telling them now, spend it.
Yeah.
Bakit ka why will you save? So that your children will inherit it kung pag-aawayan lang yan. In most instances, up to now, 20 years inheritance, no? Hindi nila makuha because nag-aaway. So, sana ginastos na lang ng... So that's what I'm saying.
Or else the third generation will not have the same passion that you
Correct.
did when
you build a business. You build a realty business. Or you build an agribusiness. Ayaw naman ng anak niyong manahin yung business. Gusto nila IT. Or gusto nila culinary. Mga gusto mag-chef. No?
Yeah.
So, that to me, yung mga nakikinig dito, na because the millennials are striking out on their own, we parents of the millennials, we should rethink. Bahala na sila. I'm not saying bahala na kayo sa buhay nyo. I'm saying let us take care of ourselves. Tama ba yan?
Correct.
It is time that we parents take care of ourselves in our ripe old age.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct. Enjoy your money for traveling, for friendships. Maybe, yes, you leave a legacy. The legacy of maybe integrity, of honor, of work,
the values that don't cost money.
Yeah. Just to add to that, I think like what again, coming from a family of lawyers, I believe that like this generation, we were spoiled growing up. We would admit it that we were spoiled growing up because, of course, if you were a parent, I would assume that the joy in life is to give your son or your daughter everything that he or she wants. Like, but what I tell my mom is, you already gave us the best education. You want to be an architect? I will support you. You want to be a chef? Support you. But there will come a point in time that you have already done your job.
Correct. The matriculation ends.
Yes. And if you choose to be a struggling artist, or if you choose to be whatever it is,
Yes.
Si Cho may
That's on your
pinaghuhugutan.
that's on your own.
I think he's addressing this to his brothers.
Yes. So like, this goes out to the millennials. My advice to you guys is think about what you want to do. Whether it be putting up a barber shop, a coffee shop, pursuing law. I think a lot of people my age have like buy and sell of bikinis from China, whatever it is, and be passionate about it.
Find your niche.
Find your niche.
As well as strive hard for it. Don't expect, a parachute from your parents
Yes.
to carry the business for you.
One of the clients of my mom told me this, and this really stuck with me. One of our trips.
Yeah.
In China, there's so many people, but they're also rich. One person can be rich by just selling peanuts. Imagine if a person sold a bag of peanuts to all the people in that province. That person selling one bag of peanuts will be rich.
Yeah, because in China, a province is equivalent to a country.
Yes.
That's
So,
correct.
like, whatever it is you do, whether you want, whatever it is you want to do, there is always a way to succeed. But again, there will be hardships. There will be fights. On my end, I don't want to do businesses alone because I juggle it with other things. Like a partner of mine, Nico, told me once, for us millennials to maintain our lifestyle now without the support of our parents is we need 3 sources of income. The first is from whatever job it is you do. Your main source, your 9 to 5. And then you need 2 passive incomes. And this is where I think my mom and I don't see eye to eye. Is that
Because you work so hard.
I will burn myself out now while I am young, so that I don't have to burn myself out when I'm old. And that I will establish myself now so that I can do what I want. Like,
It's your puhunan to your passion.
yes.
Yeah, but the caution there is, as I guess all mothers or all parents need to put some caution. Need to remind them that in your haste to get where you want, assuming you know where you want to go, you're forgetting yourself. Because Rose says, tama si Rose, tama si Doktora na sometimes what is important is not what you can write a check for, that you don't buy, no? Maybe how many watches do you need? How many cars do you need? If you forget yourself in the process, where wanting to do good is substituted by wanting to become rich. Hindi yung I want to do good because I want to be good at my craft, or I want to do good so I can help people. Yung iba, no? So I guess that is the word of caution. It cannot be measured by pesos and cents. Your last word, Doktora?
As I said, I have my bias for millennials. Okay? They have their gifts.
And millennials cut across race, no? They cut across economic class. Kasi baka sabihin ng mga listeners, millennials, problema lang ng mga mayayaman, no? Yung mga mahihirap, wala naman problema ng millennial. At saka it also cuts across gender, no? Pati mga babae, babae
definitely. But maybe my word for millennials is to also give time and space for themselves to breathe.
Correct.
That is why we talk about mindfulness. We talk about, maybe spending an hour in terms of maybe just reading or just spending time with your mom over a quiet lunch. So just filling your soul. And this is where my particular engagement is as a union psychologist. We really want to tend soul. And
that's nice.
we do have a library at 123 Pioneer Street. Yung library, which is called Your Soul Space, because we'd like to encourage people to come on Tuesdays and Wednesdays to have their soul space. It's a space for quiet. It's a space for reading. It's a space for, for just slowing
And
down.
those you give professional advice, is there a number they can call?
Well, they can go to.
They can go to your Facebook or internet?
No. They if they want, because I'm a member of the Jung Circle Center,
Okay.
so they can go to our Facebook. Carl Jung Circle Center, the Facebook, because we do run a lot of workshops, and then they can visit us in our website, jungcirclecenter.ph, or if they have questions, at jungphilippines@yahoo.com.
Okay. And show your barbershop, Burnside?
So for my message for the millennials out there and for the mothers or the parents is to just be passionate about what it is you're doing. But again, like what my mom said, don't lose yourself in the process. Okay? You manage your time wisely, know what's important, and just persevere. So, for you guys to
Maraming
try out our barbershop at White Plains and my coffee shop at White Plains.
Please support my son, his barbershop, so he can support me. Maraming salamat po, Attorney Lorna Patao Kapunan. Laban para sa karapatan. Susunod na po si Ma'am Selly at si Raul. Have a good weekend. Kung gusto nyo magmarcha, whether white, red, blue, or yellow, ang kulay ng t-shirt nyo, show that you still love your country. Maraming salamat po.
Sumainyo ang programang Laban para sa Karapatan hanggang sa Sabado alas 11 hanggang alas 12 ng tanghali kasama si Attorney Lorna Kapunan. Laban para sa Karapatan sa